So today we're gonna be installing the smoked side markers. I didn't go with the paint matched because they're like about $150 and then you gotta pay for shipping, so they end up coming out to like $165. So I ended up just going with the smoked because my car is the black metallic. These were only $18 on Amazon. So yeah, we're gonna be installing these today. And then I'm low on coolant, so I'm about to go grab some coolant and I'm getting a check engine light. So I did order a fuel valve. I checked the code and the fuel valve is going bad, so I ordered that. Yeah, I was kind of having issues even before we tuned when I would start up the car, and it would like kind of have like a rough idle. And so when I looked on like the Beamer forums, they were saying that it's probably the fuel valve, and that's also like the same error code I was getting. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that once I get that part. But yeah, we're gonna go grab some coolant and then work on these side markers. Just put it in the parking lot. It must have been super empty because geez, it took like half of the coolant bottle. So hopefully we don't get the error anymore. So what I did is turned the wheel so that I could get into this area right here, and there's some 8mm bolts, one up here, one out here, and one out here, and we should be able to get to this and try to be able to pop it out. So let's go ahead and try that. These side markers actually have the 3M tape behind them, so they're on there pretty tight. So what I did was took a flathead and went in behind it and then pushed the flathead against that tape and kind of slowly was able to stretch it out. And luckily it's really hot out today, so it makes it a little easier. Let's see if we can get this pulled off though. I think it should just kind of fold off the back. Okay, there's that one. And then there's still going to be some of that 3M tape on the inside right here. So I'm going to see if I can scrape it off as much as I can, so that when we put the new one on, it's more flush basically. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to try to scrape that off real quick. Alright, so once you get all the 3M off the inside, then you can go and place the new one on. So it's actually a few days later. So I had some issues with the water pump on my car, some issues with my hood getting stuck, and then some issues with my intake also. So I kind of after video on hold for now, but this is what the side marker looks like. So you can see it's black, it's not paint matched, but I mean, as you step away, you really can't even tell. I would say these are pretty solid if you have the black metallic or just any kind of black. One thing I did notice is they do stick out a little bit more than the old ones do. I kind of tried to push it in a little bit, but I still need it to stick on the back side. So it's not sticking out super far, but it would be nice if it was like more flush. I might mess with it a little bit. I kind of already did because it actually was sticking out even more. I was able to get this side a little bit more flush. So yeah, I'm gonna mess with it a little bit, but this is what they look like. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and with the Amazon ones, they were $18, and the paint match ones are around $150. They might fit a little bit better, but it's such a small piece that I didn't really want to pay that much for it. Just wanted to know what happened was my water pump failed. So basically I was driving on Friday. I got like a low coolant warning. I drove home and then planned on going and getting some coolant the next day. So I went to the store, got some coolant, filled it up, and then as I was driving, like about 10 minutes later, I got another low coolant warning. and I was able to kind of, by going off some forums, and I figured out that it could be the water pump. So let me show you guys really quickly. The water pump is right here. So basically the water pump failed, and I had to take the intake out, I had to take the fan off, and then I had to take the charge pipe off. And when I took the intake off, this piece actually cracked, and what I did is I super glued it back together, because I went to BMW and I asked them, and they said it only comes out as one piece and it's going to be $350. So I just ended up going to Walmart, getting some super glue and throwing that on, and it works fine now. So that was good. I had a little bit of a trouble getting this off. There's a bolt over here, and then down here is where you stick a screwdriver in and push down a flap, and then this pulls out, but you kind of have to like move this piece, and this is actually the hood latch right here. So that's kind of why my hood got stuck. Basically, I took the pump off, and then the next day I was gonna go to BMW to get the new pump. So I went the next day, got the pump, came back, and I couldn't unlock my hood. So basically I found out that when I moved this cable to get the fan out, it had came off the hood latch, and only the right side would pop open, so the left side wasn't able to pop open. So what I had to do is take this wheel off, and then there's a liner underneath, and then after that you're able to see this spring right here from the inside. And I took a flathead and wedged it up right in this area, and I was able to pop this up and get the hood out. So that was pretty crazy, because I wasn't really sure what was going to work, and I was just like, dang, how am I going to get the hood open? So that was kind of a little bit of a mess. After this happened, and then I got the pump on, and I had to bleed the system. So I'm gonna make a video on how to replace the pump and bleed the system and everything. But basically, bled the system and everything was working perfectly fine. So I was excited, and then the next day I actually drove to work, and as soon as I got on the freeway, I heard a big like metal, it sounded like rod knock almost. It was just metal going bang, 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 and smacking around. And I thought my engine was done, though. Like, I was just tripping out. I didn't know what to think. And it turns out that I just hadn't put underplate back on. So it was actually, I still don't have it on right now, but I took it off completely. But it was smacking the ground. So my engine's fine, but that was definitely tripping me out. And yeah, just the intake, well, the pump, then the intake, and then the hood. It was kind of like definitely a little bit rough, but we got through it, and everything's running good again now. So I've been watching my coolant and topping it off. Apparently the B58 eats coolant, just because it's using some of it to cool the turbo, and I don't know, I guess it just eats up a lot of coolant. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on. Still gonna keep doing upgrades, so continue to watch and let me know what you guys think. Thanks. Doses.